Hello everybody, welcome to a new game. This is The Altars. I am so freaking excited. If you saw my short, you will know that I am completely invested in this game. I 100% believe that this is a strong contender for Game of the Year, the amount of emotional depth that comes in this game. As a forewarning, this game is very heavy emotionally and deals with some difficult topics regarding trauma. There will be discussions of abusive alcoholic fathers, death of a mother, some minor body dysmorphia, and a disfigurement. Nothing graphic is ever shown, but the topics are a major part of the storyline going forward. But without further ado, let's get started with this game. Oh, I'm so freaking excited. Let's go. We don't really know it, but we sense it. There is a sister ship to our life, which takes a totally different route, while the sun burns behind the islands.
How did I end up here? My whole life, all its ups and downs, led me to this place. Far from home, far from anyone I know. A journey whose route is unknown, and the destination out of sight. Was this path just a random sequence of events that I had to follow? Or was there ever another way? Now, heading for the unknown. I can't really tell. Is this the end of the road? Or is it yet another branching?
So this is actually an incredibly long game. I've been playing this pretty much nonstop since I've been able to get it. I've owned it for probably the whole month and have been dying to play it, forcing myself to wait until I had the time to make a series out of it. But here we are. I am going to focus more on the storyline than the actual gameplay. There are going to be times where I cut out the in-between parts and focus more on moving the story ahead because it's just so good.
Polsky here. Do you read me? Anyone? Nothing. I need to figure out what happened.
So we open up as a very similar start to many space games, many sci-fi games, with a crash landing on an alien planet.
Oh, no, it's the captain. Shit. Deceased. What the hell? Not much I can do for her now. Oh, I gotta find the others. The capsules. Wait. What? No. That's impossible. They can't all be. Why? Makes no sense.
The maps and environments in this game are absolutely stunning, and I am kind of blowing by it right now, but we will see more of it soon.
Mobile base. There it is. Radiation wave? Now? Oh, shit. It's rising fast. I gotta get to the base.
And of course, like any good sci-fi game, the alien planet that you landed on is very inhospitable.
Yes, the elevator. Quick. Come on. Come on. That was close.
And we officially start day 1. Survived
Hello?
our re-entry, but we are the only ones. So
Anybody
now I'm
here?
going to take a little bit of backseat, let the storyline play out for a little bit, and then we will continue going. For the majority
I
of
hope someone
this
else made it.
prologue, it's going to be a simple
I need to
space
find a
game.
comms room and get help.
It's going to be resource management, base management, a lot of stuff that you'll find in a lot of other space games. But shortly before it ends, you'll see exactly where this game takes a turn and
Hello?
shines.
Hello, can anyone hear me? Mayday! Mayday, anyone?
I can hear you, Captain McShadow.
I'm here, but I'm not the captain. I'm just a builder. Yondolsky, corporate ID 4672B. The captain, the whole crew is gone. Hello? Can you get me out of here?
You're in imminent danger. Short time remaining to sunrise.
What do you mean? Remaining to what? Talk to me! What's the danger?
Planet activity rising. 4 days remaining. Be lethal proximity. Present instructions and logs.
Oh, no. Don't you go all fuzzy on me. Lethal proximity. Oh, useless quantum nav system. Where the hell did it send us? Lethal proximity of what?
Please, Brigadier before star approaching. This battle, we must escape. Proximity star days.
You mean a star will come and burn this planet? And I just have days to escape? Is that right?
Affirmative. Missing sunrise.
Sunrise. Perfect.
So the premise is set. We have just a few
need to
days
find those
before the
captain's
sun
logs.
rises and burns everything to a crisp. 7 days to be precise. And our mobile base is going to be our sanctuary and our salvation. But we do need to get it running. So here's the mission logs. It's basically just any of the information gathered in the game, any tutorial stuff. This is where you can kind of come back and review everything that you've learned. This will get populated as we go along. So nothing too big to see here. One thing that is interesting is that we're in a triple star system, and that's pretty cool. But now we need to figure out how to build ourselves a workshop so we can start making stuff. And this is where we first get into the base building aspect, which I kind of love, but then I end up going down rabbit holes sometimes trying to find better efficiency. But as you see here, the thing I'm grabbing right now are elevators, and so I decided to make my elevators pretty much centralized so that way we can easily get to both sides of the base when we need to. And then I set it up this way for now, and quickly we're going to speed through all the changes that I make after that. Don't get too comfortable with this design because we are going to be changing it over and over again to redesign to suit our needs, but eventually we'll kind of settle on one design that will hold for the rest of the game, but that is not in today's episode. There's nothing else left to do today. We can't go out and mine more resources to make the thing that we need to make, so we have to sleep. We wake up at 7, and this game has an interesting feature that if you stay up past the 23-hour mark, for every minute that you stay up past that, you'll wake up that many minutes later. Time is a major factor in this game. Everything you do is under the wire of time. So now we are taking our first steps out, well, our first official steps out into the map to explore and gather resources.
That shiny rock might be a source of metals.
And as you see here, when you extract, the time just bleeds away. And you lose so much. You take the risk, you lose it. You can lose it all. So now, it's several hours after we started, but we have the metals necessary that we can now create the workshop. Put that there. And then, of course, I see and realize, I could fit this out better. So, once again, I am going to, stop fixating on this building sequence soon, but in the beginning at least, so you can kind of see what all the pieces are and how they kind of relate to each other. And then, once again, back out into the world. Like I mentioned before, I'm going to be cutting out a lot of the in-between stuff, a lot of the slow bits, me running around the base.
That looks like our ship's cargo drop.
And really just focusing on the more important parts.
It's filled with the crew's personal items, including
so
my
you
stuff.
can pause here if you'd like to read what these are, but essentially we will be finding little objects and trinkets along the way from our past, as well as these movies from an actual YouTube channel called Chris and Jack. It was kind of fun. I'm not going to play any of the movies because, I don't have the rights to own any, to show any of that, but they were pretty fun. I highly recommend checking out that channel. I think I might check them out myself, but, not sponsored or anything, just enjoyed it.
Rubidium? I feel strange. I have to get closer. Make sure. I need to collect a sample. Unbelievable. So the useless quantum nav system isn't that useless after all. It knew where it was sending us. Except... only I survived. Smoke. I should look for organics here.
So now we go into the resource gathering aspect of the game. In order to mine the resource, you gotta find the resource. In order to find the resource, you got to use this polygonal scanner, which is very cumbersome in the beginning. I watched the video, and this was one of the person's major critiques, was just on this system, and I strongly agreed. However, a little bit later, when you get the chance to upgrade the thing, it becomes significantly easier, but also by that time, you've made a lot more progress and can do things a lot easier anyways. It did take me a few tries to find the deepest part of the vein, but now all we have to do is throw down a machine, which is nice that it just sets the area for you. And now we've got to set up our pylons, just like games like Satisfactory or Astroneer or anything. You're going to need to have power, and you're going to need that to be a series of wires over various distances. So, set up our first one, drop down here, try to maximize our distance. I don't do a great job in the beginning, but eventually we can do a lot better.
If it really is rubidium, this could change everything. I need to report it.
Yeah, see there, I got a lot closer to our maximum distance, which is a lot more efficient. But anyways, we are going to try to connect this to our base, and in doing so, we will then be able to fast travel to that specific mining operation. I did forget to put down the last pylon right there, so as we look here, we see it's not connected. But then I just went ahead and reconnected it, so we can fast travel. Skipped you, or saved you that trouble. But as you see here, even with the big mining machines, we still lose time rather quickly. And then once it hits 2000, the radiation starts coming. Well, 2101, but anyways, we are safe back at the base, and we are now going to contact the higher-ups. Still to no avail.
I went out to find resources, and I found a cave full of something. I think it might be rubidium. 'Cause 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 'C You hear me? I think I found rupidium.
You sure about it?
What? I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, what else could it be?
Test it.
Test the rupidium? How would I do that?
New blueprint provided. The womb.
A blueprint? The womb. You want me to build a womb?
Some sample of DNA provided.
This is fucked up, but what the hell? At least I got your attention. A DNA sample, huh? I guess it makes sense. Rubidium speeds up organic growth.
That's one of the things that I like about the concept of this game, is the idea of why we're getting rupidium is to save Earth, that we need to replicate resources, excuse me. So now it's wanting us to build the womb, but we don't have enough metals to do so, and unfortunately we can't go back outside, so we are going to have to sleep through the night, make a new day. I decide to make another mining outpost and some more pylons because we have found organic matter, so now we have a mine for that, but we don't have one for metals. So we are going to need one of that, but we have plenty of places to explore on the map. These maps are quite large and very windy, very maze-like, labyrinthian, if you will. But after doing some discovery, I find these shallow deposits, which are nice. You get a good amount of metal from it, but once they're mined, that is it. You can't get any more of it. What we really need is a deep deposit. And that little notification that I got was our storage space is filling up, because once again, this is resource management and base management, so we are going to have to build more. But first, we have the womb created. There's the extra small storage. But the womb is created, so now we can move forward in the storyline and see what this game is really about.
Womb? Now, what could possibly come out of it? Here goes. DNA sample. Rubidium. I'm starting to worry this wasn't such a good idea. Oh, of course. What else?
What else but a sheep? And those who may not know,
call you
this is a reference
Molly.
to a real-life sheep that was the very first
Hello,
animal
Molly.
to be successfully cloned was named
Right,
Dolly.
you?
Hence the logo of Project Dolly on the back of Jan's shirt. But anyways, let's go ahead and take some of those resources, make ourselves a kitchen so we can actually continue to live and feed ourselves. And at this point, I'm doing some more rearranging, and I put the kitchen next to the captain's cabin. And honestly, that will never change.
Hello?
Because that is
Can you
just
hear
such
me?
a great
I
idea.
have a sheep.
Definitely
on
use
board.
that as a
You're
tip.
responsible for 2 lives
I'll
now.
explain later.
Go. Successful. Really found what did this. Museum.
Yes. Yeah, I did. It's fantastic, isn't it? I just have to get out of this alive to claim my medal.
You're in imminent danger. Only what time remaining to sunrise.
I know that. But I'm just a builder. I'm not trained to move the goddamn base all by myself.
And there you have it. There's the premise of this game, and it delivers on that significantly. So we have 6 days until the sun rises. We gotta move fast. First thing I want to do is check out this kitchen, make a little bit of food so we can live, and then I'm going to test the engine, but of course that fails.
What just happened? Come on. Don't do this to me now.
Pull lever. Sounds easy. Yeah, there we go.
Sorted.
This
Let's
stuff
give it
isn't too
another go.
hard.
What? Not again.
Spoke too soon.
Shit. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. Just my luck to be stuck in a junkyard. Hey, you still there? I really need your help. I can't get out of here. I did everything according to the manual, but there's a malfunction I can't fix. I just don't know how.
Rubidium can save you. I need to check data consistency and CMQC modules.
Only the captain has access codes to the quantum computer.
Access granted.
Man, that was easy. What is this? Mine records. What's going on? Wait. I recognize this. It's my life.
It's now or never, Jan. You gotta make the choice. So, we are now looking at Jan's life, all the choices and paths he took along the way, the successes, the failures, the major impactful moments. I'm gonna read through this a little bit. You can go ahead and pause at each of the sections, but I will go ahead and just give you an overview of the story so far. The first one starts off with his earliest childhood memories of growing up. Dad and mom, local apartments, nothing too fancy. But a family like many others. His father worked as a miner, would come home late, angry and drunk, and abuse both he and his mother. At 15 years old, he watched a girl getting robbed by some thugs, turned away, didn't do anything. At 16 years old, he studies hard, trying to break out of that life, get away from his abusive father, but is finding it hard to focus. At 19 years old, he got accepted to a school, but not the one close to him. He'd have to leave home, leave mom with him. He goes and decides to do that, escape from that life. He hadn't been home in months, but he decides to blow it off to go to the end of exam party. He's sure to be able to see his mom again soon. But at some point during that time, she got sick. He decided to pull off a second job to pay for the bills. He could have worked abroad to get a better degree, but instead stayed close to his school. But he was not close to his mother and was not able to be there when she passed. He has to be strong, decided he has to make something of himself for her. A woman that he's been dating for a little while from school has made his life a lot easier and happier, and things seem to be going well for him. But it's hard to win the favor of her parents. He never feels like he can live up to their standards, and so he decides to work extra hard and get himself a good degree. He could go for a PhD, or he could work at a new job to afford Lena the lifestyle that she deserves, and so he does that. He chooses to put his time into his work and then get stuck into the purgatory of 9 to 5. Things are difficult with Lena now, but once he was able to get her dream house, things seemed to be turning up. Her parents finally respected him, and he was getting the life that he wanted. But at 30 years old, the crisis hit, and many people were left without jobs. Wasn't able to afford anything. He had to take a job as a cabbie. And on Christmas Eve, it's extra painful because it's just a reminder of everything he lost. At 30 years old, Lena has the opportunity to work her dream job, but in a foreign country. Jan doesn't want her to go. He doesn't want to lose the house he worked so hard to afford. She doesn't go, but that just causes problems in their marriage. A lot of arguments. At 32 years old, the marriage is falling apart. If you didn't work too much, if you didn't drink too much, maybe things might have been different, but you two are beyond repair now. 33 years old, you are now drinking alone, like your old man, wondering where it all went wrong. At 34 years old, you decide to accept the Project Dolly invitation to work on a spaceship on an alien planet, and this leaves us at 35 years old, embarking on that adventure. And that is the life of Jan Dulski and everything that has led him to here. Like I mentioned before, I did kind of summarize that, so you can go back and read it if you want, but we will be learning a lot more about our main character soon.
I checked the quantum computer. What the fuck? Mind records? What the hell are you doing with that data? It's got everything. My whole life exposed.
Mind records need this procedure.
No. No, I want answers. Shit. What do you want with it?
Initiate breaching procedure.
Branching? What exactly will be branching?
This is you.
What? You what? Is that your whole answer?
Create the altar.
Alter? Alter what?
Lose your life.
My life? Okay. You mean as in... Okay, wait a minute. You're not suggesting I... use Rapidium to create a... someone. And to alter their mind. That's not what you're saying, right?
Yes.
All right. How about my other options? You jerk. I don't have other options, do I? What? What is it doing? I remember that alternate life pattern. So this is what the branching is about?
So now, as we look at Jan Dulski's life once more, we see we now have a little split here. At 19 years old, when he decided to go away to college, there is a version of him that decided to stay behind. He stood up to his father, kicked him out of the house, and ultimately set his life on a completely different path to become his own completely different person. And as I mentioned in my short, the title sequence to this game has no right to go as hard as it does. But yeah, here we are. I am so excited to show you this in full. Ladies and gentlemen, people of all stripes and colors, welcome to the altars. Goosebumps every single time. It just goes to show how much this game has to offer. But anyways, now we have a new life to look at. What happened to this Jan Dulski and what his life became by staying behind. So, 20 years old, he stood up to him, kicked him out of the house, decided to protect his mother instead. And it worked. They were finally free of his reign of terror. And at 21 years old, it was good to see his mom smiling again, to hear about joyful things, her dreams. At 22 years old, he's approached to work in the mine. He feels that his dad is behind the job offer, and he chooses not to do it, stand up for himself. At 23 years old, his mother still dies, but at least this time he has the opportunity to be by her side and say goodbye. At 23 years old, free from his father, no longer with his mother, finding joy in fixing things, working as an apprentice for somebody who he actually can look up to. It's a strange feeling having a father figure. But unfortunately, a few years into it, he starts suspecting that there is some shady business going on. And only a year later, he is proven right as his father figure is pulled away in cuffs over fake batteries and counterfeit parts. Not only the man that he looked up to ended up being a degenerate, but for nothing. He was approached by the man's contacts to take over in his footsteps, but he turned them down, choosing instead to work a legitimate job for a company with a good paycheck and stable hours. But those hours were long and the job was tough, so he felt at the end of the day he could unwind at a bar. One day he spotted an old drunk in the corner and thought it was his father. It wasn't, but it was enough to stir the feelings in him. At 27 years old, he's just drifting through life, spending his paychecks on the people he thinks are friends, but are no more than acquaintances. At 30 years old, the crisis hits. Once again, people lose their jobs left and right, and it is difficult to maintain. At 33 years old, he actually does see his father, this time at the racetracks. He swears that he won't end up like him. And once again, at 35 years old, Jan Dulski finds himself involved in Project Dolly on his way to this alien planet. Only this time, as a technician. So one great thing about this game is that your choices matter, and the things you decide to say will affect your alters in different ways. So there are many, many different outcomes to this game.
Hey there. Wow. Hello? Can you hear me? What is this?
Anxiety and insecurity builds in him, and those
Where
things
am
will
I?
matter. Build up too much of one or the other, such as rebellion or frustration, and you will have a difficult altar on your hands.
There's been an emergency. The whole crew is dead. I know this is abrupt, but I'll need you to focus. Focus. Wait, why are you... What the fuck is going on here? In my head. Oh, why do I feel so weird? I think you're on some meds. What? What for? So you don't panic when you wake up. Why would I panic? I'll explain later. Right now, let's check your mental condition, okay? Do you think you can, introduce yourself? Sure. Can you? You first. I insist. All right. Jan Dulski, Senior Technician at Ally Corp, Mining Operations. There. Did I pass? Wow. Amazing. It actually worked. What? What worked? And what the hell are you anyway? This may be hard to process, but my name is Jan Dulski, too. Of course it is. Now, you're not bad for an imitation, but what the hell are you? Is this some kind of experiment? Because if it is, nobody warned me.
And I do want to reiterate, just in case you missed the short, that these both are the same voice actor.
It's not an experiment. This is for real. And I'm for real.
So, what's going on?
Well, I got stranded in this base, and, well, I needed someone to help me move it, because it got broken. Then, okay, this is the crazy part. I learned that there's this functionality of the quantum computer on board to, well, create alternate versions of a person's life.
What?
Replicate a person, but with different experiences. Mind records.
Man. If there's anyone in a bad mental condition in this room, it's definitely not me. The QC's only functionality is to navigate these junkets. I mean, theoretically, it could do other stuff, but such bullshit?
I know. It's absurd. I thought the same, but here you are, right?
Right. If I understand you correctly, you're telling me you're a
And there are
alternate
many
version of me
opportunities in
with a
here
different
where you can
mind?
say, no, I'm the original and you're a copy. Or you can all be together. And I'm going to go that route for the majority
Sort
of this time because
yeah.
it does make them feel better that they
Said we were
belong.
stranded.
Yes. It's just us. Like I said, there's a malfunction in the machinery. If you don't help me fix it soon, we're both gonna die.
So, wait. Let me get this straight. This is not an experiment, and you're a different version of me. And this version of me woke me from cryosleep to help fix a malfunction because there's no one else on board. What if there was no malfunction? Where would I be?
And this game asks some great philosophical questions. Get prepared for some great thought experiments on what it means to be
You'd
human.
still exist somewhere? Theoretically, at least?
Theoretically? Wow. You bastard. I can see now what the meds are for. I can't even lash out at you, just this passiveness. What am I?
Look, this is a lot, and we'll sort it out, I promise. But trust me, if we don't fix the machinery fast, we're gonna go in a very bad way, and you'll never get the chance to understand this properly. Experience your feelings without the meds.
I don't like this kind of pressure.
Well, that makes two of us.
Fine. Show me the way. Unbelievable. What a screw up. A 3-year-old would have figured it out. Okay. In any other case, I'd say don't touch anything here ever again. But unfortunately, this is a two-man job. On my sign, pull that lever over there. Just don't yank it like an idiot. Pull it gently. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Now. Yes! It worked! You did it. We're gonna live. Let's get one thing straight. I did what you created me for. Now stay away from me.
And we have a little bit of time left in the day, so we decide to go out exploring, and we find another little item from our luggage, and this is a multi-tool from our past, a gift from our mother. Day 5, sunrise in 5 days. We gotta start moving. Our only goal is to start the engines in the command center. It's interesting to see another person wandering around, especially another person wearing your face. Not your clothes. It's interesting that they all have clothes dedicated to their jobs. So we need to gather some organics. We don't have enough fuel to move our base. We don't need very much, but might as well just grab it. And now I actually leave very early. We still have 5 days. That's 5 days that I could have explored the map a little bit more, gathered more resources, built more modules, storage, things like that. But tips for another time. I didn't know that at the time. That I just assumed that we had to move as quickly as possible. But that is not the case. We are now on Journey 1, getting close to the end of the prologue. As you see here, there is no timer. There's no countdown. We actually have a few moments to breathe. This game is one that keeps you constantly moving. There's never really slow moments, except for when you're talking to the alters, but it's also one of the best parts. There's an alter log that you can keep an idea of how they're feeling.
Hey there.
What's been happening.
I said, don't come near me.
This game is all about intrapersonal communication, and I
Time to get
oftentimes
a grip,
call it
man.
empathy
We need to
simulator.
fix the comms room so we can make it out of here faster. Are you deaf? I don't give a damn about your comms room. We're moving, aren't we? Now get out of my face, creep. You don't get to talk to me like that. I'm in command of this base now. You'll do as I say, or what? You'll send me back to that giant fish tank? Why don't you get yourself a repair kit and fix your own shit? I'm done doing your dirty work.
And I think no matter what you chose as a conversation, I think that would have happened. I think the game just wants to show you that you can repair things yourself. He is the technician after all, so he will do it much more efficiently and safely than you will. But nonetheless, you can always put your hands on the machines and do yourself the work. So now we fix the comms room so we can hear that our
Mr. Dalsky?
connection is
Yes,
Lucas.
I'm here.
Are you okay?
And I'm gonna get so tired of Lucas.
Are you serious? I just had a choice to either die in pain or duplicate and edit myself. I'm far from okay.
It's, called branching. The duplicating and editing thing. I need to know if you pulled it off.
Really? And I need to know who I'm talking to. I didn't catch your name.
Oh, Lucas Pena, Space Traffic Control, Orbital Substation L7. Now, the branching. Did you do it?
You left me no choice. Doesn't mean I like what I did. Is this even legal?
You found Rapidium, Mr. Dalsky. We needed to act.
What the hell happened out there? What went wrong with the landing?
To be honest, I don't know. I'm still analyzing telemetry data from your flight, but it seems something went very wrong.
No kidding.
Yeah. We know there was a major system malfunction, but the reasons are unclear. It's too early to tell. We need more data.
Do you know what killed the rest of the crew?
Looks like an oxygen leak in the landing pods. No idea why, though.
Then how come I survived?
You tell me?
You know, you're not very informative.
I don't like confusing assumptions with information, Mr. Dalsky. Conclusive evidence is more my thing.
What about the mind records? What is all that personal data doing in the base computer?
Oh, that's, the corporation needs to ensure the safety of the mission and, basically everyone. It's confidential, of course. And it kind of saved your life.
So, you're getting me out of here, right? You know how to do it. Safely.
Sure. First thing I'll need you to do is to transport the base to a safe and accessible destination. I'll dispatch the coordinates to you. Second thing, do you think I could see this altar of yours?
How do you know you're not talking to him right now?
You're Joking, right?
Who knows?
Yeah. Nice try, but I'd know the difference. The immunosuppressant meds, he wouldn't be in a disposition to mess around. How bad is he feeling?
He's pissed off at me, won't cooperate.
Then we have a problem. You won't manage without his help. The base needs more hands on deck. There should be a way to gain his trust. Show him you care, maybe?
I told him I wouldn't survive without him.
Yeah, that's just words. Maybe you should share something.
What? Why?
I don't know. Just a thought. My grandma used to say, sharing is caring.
Yay. Let me think. What can I share with him? My playlist?
Yeah, true. Wait, suppose it's not about what you can share with him, but what you already do.
Of course. Memories. I wonder if he remembers things the same way I do.
Yeah, mind records. See? You are so spooked by them, they could be a source of information.
Fine. I'll check them out, see what happens.
I'll get back to you as soon as you reach your destination. Don't worry, you're in good hands. L7 out.
Petting Molly is one of my favorite
Never
parts
thought
of this
I'd be so
game. I don't
glad
know
to
why I
see
really enjoyed it, but it takes a whole 10 seconds.
I've been thinking about what you said. You're right. We are different. Sure we are. Like, I got that right away, and you took your sweet time.
The voice acting is phenomenal in this, and we're
I'm
about to get into
serious.
some heavy stuff.
You stood up to Dad. I didn't. Oh, really? And what did you do? Just stand and watch him take it out on Mom? I thought about stepping in. I was always a heartbeat away from doing it, but when it came down to it, I'd just freeze. Guess I was afraid of making things worse. Yeah, I remember the feeling. But then I reached a breaking point. Looks like you didn't hang around long enough to reach yours. Or maybe I was a coward. Going to college was a good excuse to just get away from it all. Oh, so that's where our paths split. Did you shine out there? Were you best in class? What do you think? Huh? Yeah. Now build around this merry-go-round. That's
Yeah,
who I ended up
technically,
being.
as a technician, you outrank him.
Sorry to disappoint. Why would I be disappointed? Just proves I was right to stick with Mom. Wait, is she maybe still around here? No. I wish she was. She always knew what to do and how to cheer you up. Hey, when you were down, or Dad had just stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind him and leaving you crying in your room, would she ask me to help her make pierogi?
And this is the first time that we get to see the
Famous
technician
pierogi.
smile, and I love it so much. It warms
Oh
my
my
heart.
God, I
I
could
really enjoy
really
this
pick out
character.
those.
He's abrasive, but he has a
Making
very
them
good
together
heart.
was fun. Fun. Yeah, wow, why don't we go for it? Why don't we try and make Mom's famous pierogi? No way we'd find the ingredients here. Who said they have to be right? Beer and synthetic starch should work. Yeah, hilarious. I can pull it off. You'll see. But there's one condition. You're eating them with me. If you die, I die. Why not? Won't change much, I guess.
Unfortunately, this is the only time we ever get to make pierogies. Never again, and I'm so bummed about that. I would have loved to be able to make pierogies anytime I wanted.
Here you are, the famous Dulski pierogi with an interstellar twist. What do you think? Well, now I know how Mom must have felt. That day she had a terrible flu and I decided to cheer her up and make pierogi for her. Right, yeah. I put like a ton of salt into the filling. And I overcooked them into a shapeless pulp. They were inedible. But you remember what she did? Uh-huh. She ate them all and never said a word. No, she said they were delicious. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. So, they're delicious, man. Shut the fuck up. So, how do you feel? Great. A serving of dehydrated dumplings completely changed my outlook on the situation. I feel so optimistic about life now.
There was something about the technician that I just really respect and kind of resonated with. I really wanted him to like me and trust me.
Look, I'm as freaked out as you are. Trust me, looking at you, talking to you, revisiting my life, we're in this together. You're freaked out. Imagine how I feel. Hating you, but on the other hand, if you didn't exist, you get the idea. And eating those fucking pierogi with you, I actually enjoyed it. So did I. Sharing these memories with you, knowing you understand me, that was kind of comforting. Are you getting mushy with me? What? No. Okay, just kidding. I know what you mean. I'm just not the sentimental type. Who's being sentimental? All I said was... All right. Just tell me what the plan is. The corporation is supposedly on top of this, but I know better than to put my life in the hands of pen pushers. Oh, I hear ya. You never know with those numbskulls. Right, so, until the rescue ship arrives, we'd better watch our own asses. Do they know about me? Don't worry about it. Leave the politics to me. Gladly. Tell me you know what to do. All I know is we need to get to a safe place, then we'll improvise. Well, there's one thing you should know. This base is a resource-consuming, maintenance-heavy sucker to operate. I have you to help me. That's not gonna be enough. I'll be blunt with you. If you want to survive, you're gonna need more people. People? What people? The Rapidium's there. Use it. Make more versions of me. Versions of us both, you mean? Huh. That almost sounded like we're planning kids. You need to work on your cooking skills, though. Actually, I can't wait to branch myself again. Sure. Take the bull by the horns. Good luck.
Every single choice I made led to a positive interaction with him, which made me very happy. And now the player is introduced to Jan's ex-wife, Lena.
Hello? Jan. Can you hear me?
Lena? Lena, is that you? What are you... How did you find me?
They let me know. Agatha, my boss, came to see me and said you could use some support. Are you all right? I heard about your crew.
Yeah. Everyone's dead. But I'm fine, somehow. It's a lot to handle.
Yeah, I know. Is it true you found Rapidium?
Yeah, I did. It looks amazing. So much more beautiful in real life.
I'd love to see it. And you back in one piece, of course. I think the board is genuinely concerned for your safety. What the hell happened out there? How did you survive?
So, your boss, did she say anything more about the accident?
No. Just that you're all alone out there and could use someone close to talk to.
Really?
How did you make it?
I don't know. Beginner's luck, I guess.
Okay. I get this is awkward. We haven't spoken in a while and suddenly this. Maybe I shouldn't have... What's the plan for getting you out of there?
There's a guy called Lucas Pena. He's handling it, apparently.
Someone from STC?
You know your way around.
It's been a couple of years. Look, is there maybe anyone from outside the company you'd like me to get in touch with? I mean, to let them know?
I'm doing fine, Lena. I don't need help.
Yeah, I know. I'll still try and stay in the loop with STC on your progress. Keep an open channel. If you let me, that is.
Sure. Thanks.
And that brings us to the
Be
end of the
careful out there,
prologue. Thank
Jan.
you so much for sticking out with this long
Talk
episode.
soon.
Unfortunately, every single one after this is going to get exponentially longer because this story has a lot to go.
Were we supposed to
But anyways, that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're looking forward for more of the altars. If you did think about subscribing, drop me a like, let me know your thoughts, and I will see y'all in the next one.
Base again.
Take care.
Not on my